Where is this gosh darn book? I mean, come on, there aren't even that many and I still can't find the number 8. If only there was a way to find the number I'm looking for more easily. Oh. Alright, let me visualize this better real quick. Alright, so what is binary search? Well, binary search is essentially searching for something in a list that you're looking for. How it does that is by cutting the list in half, and then you have a binary of either it's on the left side of the list or it's on the right side. So if I'm looking for the number 8, for example, like I was looking for earlier, you would cut the list in half and then see that it's not in the left side, so you go to the right. Then you do it again and again until eventually you reach the number 8. But of course, this only works if the list is sorted, because if the list looks something more like this, then it can't know which way to go. If you try splitting it down the middle again, how does it know if it's going to be on the left or right side? The only way it knows if it's higher or lower when the list is sorted is because it knows the target number is either less or more than the number it's looking at. In this case, we know 8 is more than 5, so it'll go towards the right half of the list. Alright, with that basic knowledge, let's start with a practice question that College Board might give you. Alright, so let's throw a practice question up on the board here. Alright, here we go. So the question says, using a binary search, how many iterations would it take to find the letter W? And this is the string we're working with here, which is the entire alphabet. You also get 4 answer choices, because all of these types of questions are going to be multiple choice. So your answer options are either A, 3, B, 2, C, 23, or D, 24. And with that, I'm going to say pause if you want to figure it out yourself, but I'm gonna go explain it. So the correct answer here is going to be A. So we know that the alphabet has 26 characters, and so if we want to first cut it in half, we're going to start with the 13th letter, which is M. Now we know that M is lower than W on the alphabet, so we can cut out this and make everything closer. Now we go half again. Half of 13 is 6.5. This is rounded up to 7. The 7th letter of what we have left here is going to be T. And looking at it, T is also less than W, so you again remove half, and we're back to these few. And finally, with your last 6 letters, the third one in here is W, so that is your correct answer, which means we took away half the list 3 times, which is why 3 is correct. Alright, so that is one use of binary search, but there's another one that I find more fun. Come on here, Bean. Hey Bean, let's play a game. I'm thinking of a rank and fall, guys. Yep, that is your game, and in your game there's 8 different ranks, so I'm going to think of one and you're going to guess which one I'm thinking about. And whenever you make a guess, I'm going to tell you if you're too low or too high. Ah, too low. Too low again. Yes, you got it. Just one question. How did you decide what you were going to think of next? So it sounds to me like you use binary search. Yeah, you always chose the middlemost number because that would most effectively cut it down in half. And that's really all binary search is. Oop. Bean disappeared while I was talking. That's unfortunate, because the next thing I want to talk about is actually pretty cool. Binary search versus linear search. Was that a good enough transition for you? Alright, binary search versus linear search. Well, first of all, what is linear search? Linear search is just counting up. It's like if I went 1, 2, 3, 4, well, these aren't in order, but you get the idea. And so you can see, wait, this graph doesn't even have any axes. Come on, people, we not learn how to make graphs properly. Alright, here's a better one, even if it looks a little more clunky. So as you can see, when you have a lower number of elements, it might actually be easier to use linear search. As you can see, the search time is actually lower for a little bit of that time here. But once you reach a certain number, which is going to be slightly different depending on the list, then binary search starts to become a lot easier. And that's where this other graph comes back in handy. This difference can really start to expand. And if you want a real example, I can put a simulation on the board. Even if you actually try doing this with real numbers, this type of graph will always end up being the case. Alright, so now let me put you to the test again. Here is a real question that College Board can give you, and let me see if you can get it right. So for this graph right here, in which number of elements is linear search faster than binary search? Is it A, 3, B, 8, C, 1, or D, 10? And if you want to pause, figure it out yourself, now is the time. but the answer is going to be B, number 1. The reason for this is because, as you can see, for the majority of this graph, binary search is going to be much faster because, as we said, this axis is the amount of time it takes. And the only time we see linear actually go below binary search is this very first number here, number 1. Alright, so that's basically the rundown of binary search. I've taught you basically everything you need to know, except for what type of questions you will be asked on the actual exam. Alright, so what will College Board actually ask you when come exam day? Well, according to their own rules, they're only allowed to ask you 2 types of questions. Thank goodness. The first type is something along the lines of determine the number of iterations required to find a value in a data set. So like the example I gave you earlier, where it'll give you a string and it'll tell you a value you're looking for, and then say how many iterations will it take to find that certain number. Secondly, is something along the lines of explain the requirements necessary to complete a binary search. So it'll basically ask for things like, does it have to be sorted, or how long can it be, or things like that for like when you can actually use a binary search. And that's really it. At the end of the day, this isn't really that complicated, and I hope this video helped. But to make sure you completely understood this, I'm going to give you 3 questions that I ripped directly from previous AP exams, and I'm not going to explain how to answer them. I'll just give you the answers after a second. So, good luck. Question 1. Suppose that a list of numbers contains values -4, -1, 1, 5, 2, 10, 10, 15, and 30. Which of the following best explains why a binary search should not be used to search for an item in this list? Question 2. A sorted list of numbers contains 200 elements. Which of the following is closest to the maximum number of list elements that will need to be examined when performing a binary search for a particular value in the list? Number 3. For which of the following lists can a binary search be used to search for an item in the list? List 1 has blue, green, jade, mauve, and pink. List 2 has 5, 5, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 8. And list 3 has 10, 5, 3, 2, -4, -8, -9, and -12. And hey, now that we've learned all about binary search, I can finally find my book, number 8. I have to put it in order first. All right, then cut half. It's on this side. And then I can cut half again. Oh, it is half. I found my book. Now I can go read. So there the boy sat, letting his book knowledge blossom. But in the back of his mind, he thought, binary search is awesome. Thanks for watching.